What's going on, everybody? I wanted to make a video real quick discussing my thoughts on the end game of PoE 2 and my likes and dislikes of it so far. I'm only going into tier 4 maps. I'm not too deep into it. It's not like I've invested a whole lot into the end game process yet. As you can see, like I haven't really uncovered a whole lot. What I do want to go over real quick is I don't really like the mapping system. I don't like the fact that I have to clear these towers to constantly progress. And I don't like the idea that once I clear them is when I can start putting things in to add stuff to the maps. I don't know if I really like the end game mapping so far. Like, I'm not happy with it. I'm not enjoying it dramatically yet, but like, it's not bad. It's just not. It's not as good as I think it can be. Uh, I do think I need to invest more in my gear and get to where I can clear faster and progress through maps further. But the overall mapping process of like waystones, like I feel the waystones aren't as viable as it was for early mapping where you can alch and go, especially with how little alchemy orbs drop and there's no way to like disenchant gear to get alchemy orbs. You're just limited to what you find on the ground. So this being like I've run probably 55 maps total since I've started mapping, and this is the extent of my alchemy orbs. So I could alch, you know, 6 and go and hope for the best, or then I just have to use my regal orbs on it, which I don't like having to use regal orbs. Hit my water. I don't like having to use regal orbs for mapping or for crafting waystones in order to make maps more difficult, to get more experience and to get better drops. I think it needs to be modified slightly somehow. I don't know how to make that modification and make it make sense, because I don't mind. I got plenty of transmutation augments to run blue maps, but like by this point, like I should be running all my waystones out, or at least regaled, but I'm not even getting enough regals to do it because I can only do 24 maps. So I'm sure there's something out there, and I've been doing this all myself without getting too much information. The only thing that I've done is I've followed a build guide on the Invoker Monk that I'm playing. But like everything else, I've been learning as I go, trying to figure out as I go. The other thing I could say is, how does one fail a map node? Because there was a map that I died like 8 times on and I never failed the node. So how do I fail the node? Is that only for specific things or is that something else? I'm not entirely sure. So I guess we'll figure that out as we go. If like there's a specific map node that if you fail, it fails, but I haven't run into that problem yet. So I'm not sure what's the point of that. The other thing I don't like, and this is like, I don't have a problem with bosses being you get one portal, but I don't like the idea that I get 6 portals for a map, and the only thing that those portals are really used for is if I get enough loot to have to leave the map to empty it out and then go back in. There's not enough loot dropping for that to be useful to me at this point. 85% of the loot that drops is useless for my class. It's mostly white. The blue things that do drop, if it doesn't drop with a socket or quality, I don't even bother picking it up. So loot-wise, I don't think the loot, like the 6 portals, is even necessary to have at this particular moment, other than just to annoy me to know that if I die in a map, I can't progress the map any further. If that's the way that it is, that's the way that it is, and I hope it changed in the future. I'd rather have 6 portals and 6 deaths, and if I fail those 6 portals and don't clear the map, then that fails the map itself. But I don't think the situation that we currently have in mapping is great. I think it's nowhere near what it could be, and I think it could be better. The Yeah, that's essentially my thought process on it. Is like, why is there 6 portals just to go in and out for loot when there's not enough loot for it to matter? There's not enough reason to care for the six portals, because if I die once, the entire map is over, and I've lost the entire map, and it feels bad. I get that that's how you want to handle bosses. You get one attempt at them, go, great, but I don't see the reason to what we're currently dealing with. I think the six portals needs to go back to being the way that six portals was in PoE 1, and that this six portals showing up on my thing, I should get one portal and that's it. What I get is what I get, because then at least it makes sense to me. Don't leave the map, don't die, you fail the map, and if you fail the map, then it turns the node this way. But it doesn't seem to go that way currently. As for like these little lost towers, right? Like I've only found, I don't know, 5 precursor tablets so far, and in all honesty, like I don't care for them. Like I don't find the loot or the stuff that comes from those particular things to be any good. ROG no longer does crafting services. Tejan doesn't do anything for me. Gwenin doesn't do anything for me. Like, so I don't feel like these guys are useful for me to farm Expedition. The same thing can be said about Delirium. Oh, a notable passive? A notable passive. Cool. So, which notable would I take? Who knows? It doesn't make sense for notables in a sense, considering I don't see a reason to put one of these notables on an amulet when there's no reason for it. I'm sure to get 5% more damage or something like that, there's a reason for it. But like all the notables I could think of at this particular moment for my build are already taken. I don't see a reason to look at it. Maybe there's some cold damage node that I'm missing that I didn't realize I'm missing yet that I need to take. And that's the case. If that's the case, then I'll dig through it a little bit more. But all in all, I'm not finding a reason to run content. Ritual is like so far every ritual I've ever run into has been in a tight quarters, and it throws out chaos damage, and I don't have any chaos res. Don't tell anybody, I just don't have any chaos res. So my ideas on mapping is like it's not the greatest and it could be better. But we are in early access. We'll see what they do in the future. At this particular moment, I'm almost done playing the monk. Like I'm not worried about trying to get into deep bossing currently because I'm still trying to figure out my best ways to make builds, my best ways to look at things, and trying to get a better opinion on it. So my rant on maps is they are okay. For me, I don't feel like they're really worth doing. I'd rather just level another character. I think if they make some changes to improve the mapping, it'll be great. But other than that, mapping is just not at a spot that I really want it to be. I want them to make some changes to where I get my 6 portals so I could clear the maps more efficiently so I don't feel like I'm losing out. Maybe there's something I'm missing. I don't know, but I feel like I'm missing out on a lot when I don't get to use my 6 portals. Especially when it's like I'm missing like one rare to finish the map. But anyway, that's my rant and rave on it. If you guys have any things to tell me to say that I'm missing out on something or I'm not doing something correctly, I'm all for it. Leave it in the comments below, and we will catch you next time.